The following PowerPoint is to enumerate and to educate the sexual harassment policy for all members for Global Dynamics. This policy has been updated effective October 2019. Global Dynamics is fully committed to fostering a safe and healthy work environment for all. Our goal is to protect our employees from unwanted and inappropriate sexual behavior. We will take a zero tolerance approach to sexual harassment and assault. These types of behaviors are prohibited inside and outside of the office as per Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This policy will include a sexual harassment definition, examples of sexual harassment, details about complaint mechanisms, an overview of the investigation and disciplinary process, and employee right. The provision in this policy apply to employees, managers, customers, investors, contractors, and any third-party affiliate involved with the company, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, role, status, or other protected characteristic. This policy on inappropriate behavior is not limited to what occurs inside the office. Sexual harassment will not be tolerated at work, at off-site gatherings, or anywhere else. We are committed to carrying out all provisions in this policy and monitoring its effectiveness. We will work with related parties to improve the policy and our processes on a consistent basis. Sexual harassment, according to the EEOC, consists of unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature. When an employee decision affecting that individual is made because an individual submitted to or rejected the unwelcome conduct, or B, the unwelcome conduct unreasonably interferes with an individual's work performance or creates an intimidating, hostile, or abusive work environment. And that pretty much is the core and base definition for what sexual harassment is. Sexual harassment is subjective in the sense that an action may be considered inappropriate depending on how it is perceived by the recipient. When it comes to sexual harassment, how the victim feels and how the harasser's actions affect the victim have priority. So characteristics individualistic. Some may find it to be offensive and some may not, but regardless of how we view it, it is still sexual harassment. Sexual harassment can happen once or many times and may include physical, verbal, or nonverbal actions. This form of harassment may make the victim feel offended, humiliated. Most sexual harassment is subjective and circumstantial, which is why there is no definitive, exhaustive list of inappropriate behaviors. Here are some examples of sexual conduct or misconduct. Sexual pranks, teasing, jokes, verbal abuse of a sexual nature, physical touching of a sexual nature, giving sexually suggestive gifts, making sexually suggestive gestures, posting sexually suggestive pictures. One exception is exchanging work-related benefits or threatening work-related detriments for sexual favors. This is always sexual harassment, regardless of the circumstances. Filing complaint. Global Dynamics understands that a victim of sexual harassment may not feel comfortable filing a complaint formally, which is why we provide numerous ways to come forward with allegations. If the misconduct is slight or infrequent, if the harasser is not their manager, and if the victim feels comfortable, they may inform the harasser that their conduct is offensive and unwelcome. If these efforts are ineffective, or if the victim wants to escalate the issue, they can report the allegations to the immediate supervisors or designee who will forward information to the HR director. Anonymous complaint hotline 800-800-HELP, directly in person to the office or risk management, and file an appropriate complaint. State of Florida EEOC located at 111 Northwest 1st Avenue on the 5th floor. All responsible officials are trained to address allegations of sexual harassment appropriately. They have been provided the tools to understand the incident and carry out their next steps. Now we're getting to the complaint procedures. If a complaint is made, or if we have reason to believe there is a sexual harassment occurring, we immediately investigate and address the allegations. Specifically, we collect as many details as possible. We take immediate action if the allegation warrants. Choose an appropriate investigator, conduct interviews with witnesses, the harasser, and other related parties, gather and document physical and digital evidence, and come to a conclusion about the allegation. If the investigation proves that the allegations are credible, they will immediately take appropriate corrective actions. Depending on the severity of the sexual misconduct, corrective measures range from a single verbal warning to immediate dismissal and even criminal penalties. Once the investigation has been closed, we will follow up with the victim and related parties to obtain feedback and ensure that the issue has been resolved to their satisfaction. Employee rights. The right to work. The right to a workplace free of harassment. The right as a victim to report inappropriate conduct without retaliation or repercussions. The right as a witness or confidant to report inappropriate conduct without retaliation or repercussions. The right to a quick and thorough investigation that is as confidential as possible. The right to seek mental or physical health help in a variety of ways. Help may come in many forms and can include taking paid sick or mental health days, using the Employee Assistance Program, the EAP, or similar, or speaking to a company counselor or therapist. As part of the team, you have the right to a workplace that is free of harassment and inappropriate conduct. You have the right to report inappropriate conduct you experienced, witnessed, or were informed of without the fear of retaliation or dismissal. You also have the right to report this behavior in a complaint mechanism of your choosing. You are entitled to a quick, comprehensive, and confidential investigation into your allegation before, during, and after the investigation. You also have the right to repair your mental and or physical health. Employees have the right not to be penalized for using any time or using any of the assistance programs or perks that we provide, including paid mental health or sick days, employee assistance program, on-site counselors and therapists, health insurance that covers external therapy. Global Dynamics have established and implemented a disciplinary action process to ensure fairness and consistency across all incidents of sexual harassment in the workplace. Harassers will be subject to progressive discipline action to criminal prosecution under Florida Statutes 784.048 and 74.049, which is cyber stalking and harassment. For infrequent or less serious allegations, the harasser may receive a verbal warning, a written warning, or a negative performance review. For periodic or more serious sexual harassment, the aggressor may receive a demotion, a transfer, suspension, and perhaps criminal penalties such as a fine. For frequent or extremely serious allegations, the harasser will likely face termination and severe criminal penalties. All employees are to read and adhere to and are governed by this policy.